Hi, I'm Coleman Hayes. This is this is an episode of Going Places, and I'm about to collect John O'Keefe. Here's the man himself.
Hello, sorry, I got my bearings wrong.
No, you're all good. I suppose technically I'm at the
That's all good, yeah. I mean, most people I think are
the T1 department.
people up from here anyway. Maybe they're not. That doesn't matter. It's only one floor up. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh God, I'm tired.
You smell like fry up.
That might be true. Are we rocking and rolling?
We're rocking and rolling.
God, good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Sorry.
Nice, thank you for. The second I got into the car, most people are like, "Hey, you were just like, you smell like fry up." I probably do, to be fair.
Did you have a fry up?
I am a fry up.
You are.
I am the epitome of a fry up, a human fry up. No, I nearly missed my flight back
in Lisbon.
Yeah, me and Fatima were out at the comedy club. I did my work in progress, and then I did.
Oh, the work in progress on
last night.
Oh fuck! How did that go?
Really well, actually. Yeah, it's kind of. I thought I had no material. As it turns out, I actually have not loads of material, but I can do like 45 minutes of the new show, you know, without going to any old material.
So does this mean at this point you've an old show and you've a new show?
I have an old show which is all the jokes I had, and then now I have a newer show which is much undercooked. But you know, I think the audience reaction is as good as my old show, to be honest with you, because it's fresher and I'm enjoying it more. And I think some of the bits are really good.
And why are you not planning to, or when are you planning to like actually
record?
Like surely, because you want to develop an audience, you have enough material now, so you have the old show, you could fucking put that out and be working on the new show.
Yeah.
Like, and that way then by the time the old show's out, getting audience,
yeah.
The new show could be touring to an actual audience, as in to your audience.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. As opposed to the freaks who show up nowadays. Every time I go on stage, I'm like, who are you freaks? Why are you here?
Why are you here looking
Last night it was so sweet, a girl came and she was outside. I burst her bubble pretty quickly. She was like, oh, it's my first time to a comedy show. I've never met a famous stand-up comedian before. And I just went, I'm not famous.
I thought you were going to be like, and you still haven't.
Yeah, well, but she was sweet. Russian, I didn't mention the war. There was actually an Israeli and a Russian in the crowd.
That's very kind.
I didn't mention it to either. I'm such a big person.
You didn't make.
I didn't know, because the Israeli seemed a little unhinged, even though she was a nice person. But she was a testy one, like, you know. And the Russian girl was really shy, and they actually both of them specifically asked me not to do crowd work on them. So. I'm a good person.
You could have been like, kind of what the Ukrainians said, or kind of what the Palestinians.
Oh shit! There was Ukrainian with the Israeli. I thought there's got to be something to be said there.
Wait, the Russian was with the Israeli?
It was a Russian, Israeli, and a Brazilian together, and then there was a separate Russian girl in the corner with some lad. There was a whole hodgepodge. There was an Irish girl who didn't tip. I was upset with her now.
But that's Irish, right?
I don't know. I think Irish people are pretty sound. But anyway. Doesn't really matter, but I nearly missed my flight, by the way.
Well, how did you miss your flight?
I mean, I didn't miss my flight. I'm here. I nearly missed my flight.
Did I say how did you miss your
flight?
How you missed your flight?
You fucking idiot.
What you wrote last night or something?
Yeah, we did the 2 shows and then hanging around. I was staying too late at the club, and then eventually Fatima was like, "Can we please go home?" And I'm like, "I should actually. I've got a flight at 6 in the morning, so I didn't get to bed till about 2:30." And then I had to be up at 4 for my flight, and I woke up at 10 to 5, and my flight was at 5 to 6.
Shit.
But luckily, Fatima lives near the airport in Lisbon, and so within 5 minutes I had a Bolt ordered, and I was at the airport by 5:20. And then luckily, usually I hate it, but Ryanair in Lisbon, they always make you go through a passport check before you get on your flight. So there's always a delay, or even if you're late, or even if it says like final boarding, you're going to catch up to that window, and everyone has to go through it anyway. So like, it's almost like a safety measure for not missing your flight, you know, because they can't really close the flight until everyone's gone through security, or everyone's gone through the passport check. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I was stressed.
Were you the last one on the plane?
No. In fact, I got there, but I was racing through the airport. I was cutting. I remember I cut through loads of people in security, and I just ended up. One was really nice, letting me past her, and I just bashed her with my bag because I was rushing so much. And then I was, in those chaotic sort of like fucking Mr. Bean kind of situations when you're panicking.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that version of John. I
couldn't spend another 100 quid. Best case scenario, 100 quid, and I'd have to wait till probably like the evening for another flight.
Oh, no.
I just couldn't do it. And we were supposed to do this, and Mick is in town.
Oh yeah, is Mick staying with us tonight?
Are you sure? He's supposed to be anyway, but sure you wouldn't know it, Mick. You guys know Mick, right?
You all know Mick.
Yeah. I'm sweaty. I do smell, I'm glad
How's Fatima?
Oh, she's good, yeah. She's annoyed at me.
What's new?
She's not annoyed at me. It's just the long distance thing is challenging, and we're always navigating it. But it's a constant conversation, which I think is understandable given the circumstances.
Of course, no, for sure.
Oh, she's great. She's great. She's looking great. New job is going well.
Oh yeah, she's loving the new job.
She is. Yeah. She is. I mean, it's new job. Trying to get up to speed. She sees me doing fuck all day. You know what I mean? It's gotta piss her off. This is me every day. I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, Fatima, what do you think about this joke? And she's like, just not now. So, yeah.
Yeah, she's having to actually work for her living, and you're like, I was thinking
this dick joke. Maybe I could say this about you. Do you know what's crazy? Last night I do so many jokes about her, and I didn't know. I forgot to do any jokes about her. I didn't have time. I forgot to do like a few minutes of what I was meant to do. So that was nice as well, because sometimes.
You didn't do any jokes about Fatima?
I did one. I did one when I remembered I forgot to do.
Which one did you do?
I did the one about like she said, what was the joke? I dreamt you had sex with one of my best friends, and I was my best friend, and I was like, baby, I had the same dream. That's crazy, It's a nice little joke. Actually, Rob Nother gave me that tag. God bless him. The mighty Rob Nother. May he rest in peace. Oh, it's great to be home, almost. How has your week been?
Week has been good editing, really. I've just been fucking editing all the fucking week.
So it's what you like to do, edit, and then...
I don't know if it's what I like to do, but
I think it's what you were born to do. You were born to edit.
Man was born to edit.
Behind the camera, away, off screen, far, far away.
Don't look at them.
No.
Make sure you're not looking at them.
You could be in like pan shots, that's just like, just a weird.
Just like
you can just
my
be
arm.
like you can just be like confused man 4.
That's why just editing all week is kind of
eating away at your soul.
It's.
Oh, but I knew you.
No. We're
driving with you was never not chaotic.
No.
Oh, because you live in this we talked about this in the last one, didn't we? Is there any follow-ups? Last time we talked about suicide.
There's one of those clips I thought was genuinely like I was cracking up watching it, and I was like, asking ChatGPT. I was like, can we say these words? ChatGPT was essentially like, no, and he's like, you could mute the words and put in like unalive, but I was like, it just sort of ruins the flow of it.
Yeah.
And it's such a pity to.
It's good, but
did Fatima watch it?
She watched a bit of it, yeah. We watched a little bit. I watched the whole thing, but she came in and out. She watched a good bit of it with me, yeah. She was enjoying it, yeah. She likes the banter. So yeah, the week was good. I was in London.
Oh yeah, how were the gigs in London? How were the gigs in Edinburgh?
Well, the gigs in London were good. But yeah, it was a very chaotic week. I was in London. I was staying with my friend Louis. Then I was in.
You were in London 3
nights. But I only stayed 2 nights, and I got the night bus to Edinburgh then.
And you were gigging every night?
Yeah, except pretty much every night. Yeah, except when Thursday in London I didn't have a gig.
That was the day that you had the flight?
No, that was the bus. I could have gigged. I got the buses at midnight.
What day did you leave at?
I left on Tuesday. And
and was it the Tuesday you were like, I've no gig for tonight, but I must find one?
Well, that was the Thursday, I think.
All right, okay.
This is quality stuff. I like how ambitious you are, because you're like, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee has the 2 best comedians in the world possibly, and even they edit the stuff out to just find the funny bits. But you were like, no, me and you, John O'Keefe and Coleman Hayes, 30 minutes of uninterrupted brilliance.
No, but it's like, but I think Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, they edited all for the comedy. This is...
All right, this is more of a dramatic piece.
Oh my God. Think of it as a podcast, John. You're on a podcast. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
Very
Fuck
good.
it. Think of it that way.
Okay. It's a sad podcast, is it?
No, is it sad? Sorry, that might be my energy. I feel like I'm in a low mood today.
I'm just joking. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Oh God, I am sweaty though. Fuck me. I need to have a shower, and I'm living out of a bag as well. So like, it sounded like it was about drugs, but no, I'm living out of.
Are you home now until the Fringe?
No, I'm home until next month. I'm going back to Lisbon.
Wait, like Monday, like 5. With the 4?
No, 3 weeks time.
3 weeks time.
The 7th of July.
Next Monday, 3 weeks time.
Sorry, the next Monday. Yeah, that wasn't.
Next Monday.
That was incorrect. So yeah, and then I'm going to Lisbon for a couple of weeks. I'm going to do another work in progress and a few other gigs, and then I'm going to Edinburgh. I'm back on the Thursday doing a work in progress in Dublin, with the lads at Stitches, and then Friday I'm going to Edinburgh for a couple of gigs that weekend, and then I'm just going to stay for the Fringe rather than coming back. I think I'm going to do some work previews maybe when I'm over there. I have to set all that up this week. This admin shit. I just want to be an artiste.
But you're fair play to you. You're gigging. Yeah, I
just want to be an artiste, Coleman.
You're gigging consistently.
Can you refer to me as the artist from now on?
The artist.
The artist formerly known as John.
Fair play to you. You are fucking plugging away. More so than myself at stand-up.
But you're editing. But I'll never be able to compete with your editing skills. Your editing skills are just like, I bet you they're just...
But sure, I'm not even editing. I'm just watching it and be like, yeah, that's fine.
Well, that's a form of editing. It's lazy editing.
I'm just cutting back and forth between the front camera, the back camera, then back to the 2-shot.
Well, actually, when I was watching the first one we shot, it was actually quite nice watching it's kind of a hypnotic kind of thing.
Right?
I thought so, yeah.
So I'm not crazy, John. It's a good idea.
It is a good idea. You're not crazy at all.
And I think also, I don't know if you care about any of this stuff.
I care about nothing, please.
So, you know the way I had the before you go up thing? And then I had this called Going Places.
Yeah.
They're all the same now. Because I was chatting to Mikey, and Mikey was like, he goes, if you're going to try and come out with 2 different shows, he goes, it's just going to confuse people.
So what's the overall show called?
The show's called Going Places.
Oh, that's good. That's clever, yeah.
And then...
Because Before You Go Up can be called that too, right?
Except those episodes are called like Going Places. These are special episodes of Going Places called Before You Can Go Up. But if you watch...
Because you're with big up-and-coming kind of comics.
Yeah, so... But also I'm like...
Maybe in the future you'll have me on one of those Before You Go Up.
Here, I'd be delighted. But I feel like this is a nice soft entry for comedians to come on without it feeling like... Yeah. Because then maybe they're like, well, I want to know if I get on with you.
Because if I did it Before You Go Up right now, I'd just be like neurotic, just going, I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Actually, that might be the funnest episode of it.
Just like comparing it to Mike Rice and Kyle Connor, who's just like murdering and just selling out everywhere, and I'm just like, no one cares about me or my...
And also like, those other people are a bit like, okay, you're gonna let me be now for an hour or two. I need to. I'm like, no, John, I'm staying. Tough luck, John.
There'll be no getting rid of you. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm like, are you gonna go home? Me too.
Yeah.
Film me the whole time.
That would be a very fly on the wall episode, though. You could film me at all times of the day.
It is. If you want to be technical about it, it's not fly on the wall, because my presence intrudes on your day.
Yeah. Okay.
So technically, I don't know what they call that, but it's like, oh, is it cinema verite?
Oh wow.
Where it's like,
can you lend me that book you have on this subject?
But
you still have my book on stand-up, don't you?
I do.
I'll just get that back.
Fly on the wall is like as if the camera is not impacting you at all.
Right.
But on some level it is. So it's like, look, it's as close as we can get to it while acknowledging our own presence. Yeah. There you go, John.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
It had no value, to be honest. It had zero value.
That's good.
But
it's good to be home, I swear. I like the idea of being a traveller and a vagabond and all that stuff, and then you get back to fucking Ireland and it's just comforting, isn't it? Yeah. And you have Barry's tea, and you have fresh milk, and you have. Well, you're here, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, there's qualities.
There's qualities here.
No, there's not. A lot of people I love, but a lot of people I love in many places now. Comedy.
You love people in many places.
Well, I do. In London, I got Louis, who's I stay with there, who's a great friend. I love that guy. And a few other comics. You know what I mean? Just like, but London's a hard city. Like, so when I was in London, it's a lonely place, London, isn't it? But it's kind of inspiring because it's lonely. You know, like you kind of get an energy in London that you don't have in other cities, I think. Maybe New York is kind of similar. You know, it's that big. You kind of just know that like you haven't a fucking chance here unless you just get your shit together and start grinding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I think in Dublin and Lisbon, these other cities, I don't know. It doesn't feel like you. The impetus just doesn't seem to be there. It's probably more of a reflection on me than the city, to be fair. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So
I do. I think that's why you go to those places, though.
You do,
right?
yeah. You get it because it's not cost effective going over to London right now. I mean,
even though relative to Dublin, it probably is. Like if you were in London,
it's very expensive in London. Jesus Christ.
Like Mike Wright was saying, he's like, to live in Dublin, to live in London, they're around the same, except to live in London, you're living in London with you.
Jeez, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think I've got my cost of living quite good in Ireland. When I hear there's a thing in London called a guardianship that some lads have where they don't pay council tax. That's another thing people pay, council tax in the UK. You don't pay that, right? I'm not aware of it.
Maybe our landlord does.
Maybe they do, but we don't have to pay it anyway. But over there, like the tenants have to pay it, like if they're renting. But there's a guardianship where all the bills are included. It's basically to prevent squatters jumping into the house. So they have this thing called a guardianship where I think someone is meant to always be in the house at any one time. I don't know how true that is, but they can kick you out very easily is the only problem. But if you make any mistake, they can just get rid of you. But it's a flat fee.
If you're a tenant, like.
Yeah, it's a flat fee. I think Louis said he pays £800 a month, but then he's no bills, no council tax, and he lives in Camden. It's fucking amazing, like.
How do you know Louis?
Comedian. I know him from the internet. Remember back in the Zoom days? I was doing Zoom gigs, and there was this lovely South African lad who was on the Zooms. He actually had his own gig, and we kind of got on really well. But I thought, that's just internet. But then he came over to Ireland with his girlfriend at the time, and he was just the easiest. I get on really well with South Africans. I really find it.
Oh, Louis South African. He is a South African.
Yeah, he's from South Africa. No, but he's a great guy. I'm very fond of him. He's been extremely good to me. Every time I've gone to London, he's just been great. Can't say enough good things about him. And then when
so anytime you go to London now for gigs, you like to stay with Louis?
Yeah, and he also runs that gig in Camden, so he usually gets me on there. I did another gig in Soho. That was really cool. I feel like it's nice when you go to another city and you feel you have experience, and then you can just do your good shit and make a good impression, and it just makes you feel.
It's weird. I was watching back, so I've been sort of going back through my old material for Edinburgh this year. To be like, all right, let me just fucking compile a list of all my ideas.
It took you about 10 minutes.
It took you about 4 seconds. But I was watching some old clips, if I'd record them, and I was like, it's weird to watch it back. I was like, God, I thought I was decent then. Like, I thought I was like.
Was this last year at the Fringe or a couple of years ago?
No, I think it's about 18 months ago or 2 years ago. Yeah. And I saw a clip of me performing somewhere, and I was like, Jesus, I thought I was okay at that moment.
It could have just been a bad gig as well.
But it's weird to look back on that and watch it now. I'm like, fuck me, Jesus.
If I was being really more intentional about my development, I would watch myself a lot more and really put I don't even listen back to my sets as much as I should, which is a real mistake. Because you do get a lot of value out of it.
Yeah.
But,
Mike does it.
Of course he does.
Killian Sunderman does it.
And everyone who does it is fucking amazing. It's like there's no coincidence.
yeah, exactly. God, I wonder why they're so good.
Yeah.
They're putting in more efforts. That's how they're good.
Yeah. I kind of... it's just a mistake, because I know that even one of our favorites, Louis C.K., he doesn't really write jokes, but he says the only thing he always does is listen back to his sets, and I think he just memorizes it by listening back, and then
to me, because I think that's what actually myself and Kyla were chatting when I was doing the Before We Go Up with her. She was saying, I was like, oh, how do you write? She's like, I don't really write.
Yeah, she's a riffer. Like she's naturally fucking hilarious.
But that's kind of how Louis does it.
And she's got such a big personality too. She just commands the stage.
Yeah. But that's how Louis does it. Louis is like, that's why he says he listens back, is because he's like, it's a spoken word medium. I want to be finding it via the spoken word.
Well, you know, it's also
makes for because even his bits, you're like, how the fuck did you? It's like it's genius because it's like
because when you sit down and write, it never flows the way it does when you don't. Like last night, for instance, I had this bit about my two grandmothers, and last night I started like doing loads of little ad libs, and I was finding fun little details. Now I have to listen back to the one from last night because I did actually improv a lot of new stuff in bits that are
John,
already.
You improvise, but John, you hate improv.
Well, I mean, I didn't improvise anything. They were all the bits, but like just kind of going off on tangents within the bit.
Yeah.
That's something I could never do before. I was always terrified to do that, to like ever let go of the script. But now you're kind of seeing it's actually better to. I think that's what Edinburgh teaches you, the long sets. Sometimes you're just trying to fucking fill the time. Maybe you don't quite have. Like last night I did 45 minutes. I probably didn't do another 5 minutes that I had written, but you know, it's not really 50 minutes of material. Like it's me being on stage for 50 minutes, a little bit of crowd interaction, taking my time, going off on tangents. You know, kind of. I think you learn that at the Fringe, how to do that kind of stuff. But then I think when you're trying to release a special or just something, you're trying to condense all that shit down into just really tight material.
Yeah.
It's good stuff now. Handa.
What age are you, John?
I'm not talking about that. You never ask a lady her age. How dare you? How dare you?
Sorry, the question that I was leading up to, the question behind that question was like, Jesus, do you ever feel because I feel this.
Oh, the fear of death.
The fear of death and the passing of time.
Yeah, well, of course.
Don't put your hand on the fucking.
Who doesn't? Sorry.
Only because like if you're covering the mic.
Sorry.
We'll hear it around.
It's bad luck that this. I just yesterday.
You want to cross yourself or bless yourself?
Why am I doing this?
No, you just put your hand there.
No, listen. Let me finish if you don't mind. I pulled my pectoral muscle yesterday stretching, and I've been in an agony.
I didn't even know it was there for a while.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was there for a while. But yeah, of course. But like, I mean, I think the way to look at that is like time was going to pass anyway. And the other thing that Jerry Seinfeld said in that comedian documentary to Orny Adams, he was like, Orny Adams was lamenting, and but he was like 10 years into comedy, and he's doing amazing. Like he's on the Comedy Cellar, and he's just got signed with like Jerry Seinfeld. He's like, you know, objectively incredible, killing it, and he's like feeling sorry for himself, and he's like, oh, my friends are buying houses and starting families, and Seinfeld's like laughing in his face, and he's like, what? Like it's easy for you? And he goes, was there something else you'd rather have been doing? You know. And I think that's kind of like that kind of always grounds me when I think, you know, there's not actually nothing else I would rather be doing.
Yeah, no, I think the same. I think if I'm quite happy and content with my life, I often think if I won the lottery, would I do anything different? I'm like, no, I just keep doing what I'm doing. I just want to be worrying about money.
Just get better editing equipment.
Yeah, exactly. Just really become a really good editor. And but I do think getting older, there's this like, let's say in terms of putting out a 30-minute special, I'm like, there's this pressure within me of like, okay, I need to fucking do this to prove to myself, almost.
Well, I heard an interesting story about how you need to believe in yourself. I was watching this video about a guy who was an actor, and he went to some famous school, and he asked out this really hot girl who was an actress. He was first year, couldn't audition for roles, and she was really mean about how she shot him down, you know. But he really believed in himself, even though no one else did. Certainly not this girl. And then second year when he was in college, he ended up landing this really big role in this big thing. And she came up to him afterwards, and she was like, oh, "Who would have thought that you would have landed something like this?" And then he just looked at her dead in the eyes and goes, "I did." Baller moment, you know.
Yeah, I believed.
Yeah, so I think that's the whole point, isn't it? You just have to have that conviction in yourself somehow, because the world is going to beat the shit out of you.
People. I remember when I was younger, I started. I don't know why that story reminds me of this. I started taking up some hobby or something. I started doing something, and it was the first time I started doing it. And I was young. I was like maybe 12 or 14, and someone I knew, or like someone in my family, was like, "You don't do that," or like that.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, wow, what a way to just stop people doing anything ever.
Yeah, and like, yeah, and it's very limiting, isn't it? It's almost like they don't want you to be outside of what they see you as doing.
Yeah, and I remember but then cut to a few weeks later, like, oh yeah, you do that now. It's like, so people,
yeah, but you have to push through that a little bit.
Yeah, you have to. It's like, I was like,
and it's really hard when you're young to not let that stuff bother you. You have to be very strong-headed, you know, especially when it's something that other people aren't typically doing. You know, like, you know, small town Ireland, kind of, if you're doing something a bit different, it's very easy to be sort of ridiculed and sort of, although maybe, I don't know, is that the case anymore? Everyone seems to be doing loads of different stuff now.
Well, maybe that's because we're doing different stuff. We see people doing different stuff.
That's true. And Edinburgh was fun, I have to say.
Oh yeah.
I did in Edinburgh. Again, I'm lucky staying with friends in Edinburgh too.
Who did you stay with in Edinburgh? The same lady?
The first night I stayed with, the landlady that I rent, she wasn't available. I did text her, but she had someone in the room. But I stayed with 2 comics, Coben Millage and Pete. I can't remember his surname.
That's one hell of a name, Coben Millage.
Coben Millage, yeah, he's a lovely guy. I mean,
Coben,
Cobin.
Coben Millage.
Yeah, he's from.
Actually, a superhero.
Yeah, I should tell him that.
Also,
he's a
his
really
surname
nice guy.
sounds close to mileage.
Yes.
Coben Mileage.
So I did stay there.
Is he Scottish, this dude?
No, he's Canadian. He lives in Edinburgh.
All right.
Pete Carson, I think, is like Johnny Carson. Pete Carson, really lovely guy. 2 lovely guys. I stayed on their couch the first night, and then the second night I stayed with another comedian, Liam. Why is my fucking head? I know. Oh, Liam Jackson. That's it. Lovely guy. A great comic as well. So that was great. Really nice experience in Edinburgh. Did a few gigs. Did the comedy. Did the room I'm going to be doing for the Me and Someone Famous show. The Attic, that's the Mike Rice. I haven't got anyone yet. No, I'm gonna. That's on my to-do list.
Get the 50% of the show for the full run that you've been promoting. Me and Someone. It's a great idea though. Me and Someone Famous.
Yeah, I think so.
Great idea.
Thanks, man. Finally I had a good. That's something like something that you would have came up with, but I couldn't believe it popped into my head. Because you are a very good ideas, man. I have to say, like. Implementation, not so much, but ideas.
Then why do you resist them so much, John? Why do you resist them so much?
Because I think I have to. When you come up,
I think it's your ego, if I'm being honest.
Of course, it's my fucking ego, but it's also your ego.
Wait. That I'm like, this idea is brilliant.
That's right.
Hold on, no way.
No, it's your idea that you would ever think that it's a good idea. It's that self-assuredness, that cockiness.
Well, where's that
arrogance?
Where's that self-assuredness and cockiness in stand-up? I don't have the same self-assuredness and cockiness.
Well, you would if you gig more. It's all just.
I do believe my confidence in my stand-up is growing. It's so slow, but I feel like I'm like 3 years behind you.
Well, I just think you're also like 3 years ahead of me in many other ways because you're doing lots of different things. I think in stand-up it's kind of hard to keep track. It's hard to keep up with people if you're not just like. It's hard enough to keep up with people just doing stand-up, let alone. But I also think it's very smart to have many skills and be able to direct and edit and create sketches. I mean, I think it's not
smart. It's just these are things I want to do when I'm trying to so I have a passion for all those things. Yeah. But I do think there's a part of me in terms of even doing this. I'm like. If you look at any famous or well-doing stand-up, they have their own podcast.
They do, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I think that's
another thing that haunts me when I think about this shit. I'm like, I need a second thing.
And I love but the thing is, you need to either send this to Victoria. It's like I'm slowing down because I don't want the audience to know exactly where we live. Maybe I'll keep the camera on us. Let me just drive to the end of the street till I finish this thought. Because
this is great. I don't want to end this journey ever. It's a beautiful part of Rathmines.
That was my only concern. Was that will people know where? I mean, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I don't think our big stalkers are going to come chase us. Yeah.
But shit, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you have a project, you either need to love it, or it needs to become wildly successful early for you to keep going with it. Because if you don't love it, you'll stop. And if it's those. But when I was watching this back, I was like, oh, I love this idea. I personally,
it is good, and I really enjoyed the first conversation we had. This one actually is a bit more authentic, I think, isn't it? Maybe the first one was a bit more gag heavy.
The second one was a bit more jovial.
But this one was a bit more reflective.
Maybe it's because it's early on.
Oh
fuck! I should give the time to the odds. It's because it's early. It's like what? It's
you can just put like a little time stamp maybe in the video.
Yes, I will. But I think for like I set the cameras rolling and I was like, I'm on the way to pick up John O'Keefe.
Yeah.
But I should have said like, it's early on a Sunday morning. Just something to just put this energy in there too, as to the vibe of what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the day is also, it's also a very overcast kind of, it's a sleepy morning, let's be honest.
It's a sleepy morning. Like this whole, anyway.
Yeah, so I nearly missed my flight, but thank God I made it. So grateful that it all worked out.
I'm really sorry.
At 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, there's no way I'm making this flight, you know. Gotta get through, but then it's so early, like, and Lisbon Airport's so easy to get through when there's no one there. That sounds obvious, but like their security is just, you don't have to take anything out of the bag, and they scan it straight through really fast. Beautiful. Back in Rathmines.
And we're home.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, John.
We set the lift.